Hello and welcome to The Discussion.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring.
Today on The Discussion, we will be discussing the storied history as well as current issues and opinions surrounding the topic of immigration and immigration reform in the United States.
Immigration goes back to our nation's beginnings. In many ways, the United States was built on immigrants, as everyone but Native Americans at one point or another immigrated to America.
Wow, that's very true, Jack. In addition to that, the U.S. has always marketed itself in media and global popular culture as a land of opportunity, where people of all nations can immigrate and live the same American dream as anyone else.
However, over the years, legislation has reflected some of the nation's anti-immigration beliefs that stem from a fear of the immigrants' potentially negative effect on society and community, and sometimes a negative stereotype surrounding the migrating group of people.
For example, there was a negative stigma surrounding Asian immigrants in America for a long time, which allowed anti-Chinese immigrant legislation to pass. Among these was the 14th Amendment. Of course, the 14th Amendment was fundamentally a great positive change to the Constitution, making everyone who was born in America, including African Americans who were previously considered only partially a citizen, an American citizen. However, the 14th Amendment did not make Asians who were born in America an American citizen.
Also, the Chinese Exclusion Act was passed in 1882, banning all Chinese labor for a period initially outlined as 10 years, but the law and subsequent extensions, which eventually barred immigration from all Asian nations, were not repealed until 1943.
Legislative acts like these were not uncommon throughout the last few centuries of our nation's history. The same fears and prejudices surrounding Asian immigration and these laws were seen with the immigration of Irish, Jewish, Italian, and Russian people.
Today, however, the topic of the immigration of Latino people, generally from Mexico, to America is a huge political issue. Because the majority of people immigrating from Central and South America are doing so illegally, yet will work hard physical jobs for less, Americans who are unable to find work feel cheated by illegal aliens. At this point in time, there is actually an estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States.
Naturally, in response, there are countless political debates, campaigns, and talking heads who all want to weigh in on the topic of immigration and illegal immigrants. Among these is none other than President Obama, who has his own plan for reform. The president suggests doubling the number of Border Patrol agents, putting up more drones and fencing along the nation's border, and putting in more effort to deport the more dangerous and destructive illegal immigrants living in the United States. In addition to this, Obama has pushed for the passage of the DREAM Act, Development, Relief, and Education for Alien Minors, which would grant a path to citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants who attend college or want into the military. Also, an increased penalty for companies and employers who knowingly hire immigrants without documents.
Now, let's take the discussion on immigration to the streets and see what the members of the Wellesley High School community have to say.
It's a very interesting question, and I know it's very relevant in our current society, but I do really, really believe to my core that they are a stimulant, because 11 million people, that is a lot of people, and if we were to change them from illegal immigrants, give them a different status, make them citizens, hello, that's 11 million people who would be paying taxes. That is a ton of money. And on a personal note, I am the daughter of immigrants, and it's not easy, let's help them out a little bit, right? You got me.
I guess I support the plan that Obama has put, as long as there's an ethical way to figure out whether someone's detrimental or constructive. Yeah, I agree with Grace. Although I'm not very informed about the issue, I think as long as it's moral and ethical, I think that would be the best plan.
I support a plan similar to Obama's. I don't believe that all illegal immigrants should be deported without exception at all.
Now it's our turn to weigh in. 11 million undocumented workers in America. That is 11 million American jobs going to 11 million people who are not Americans, living in America illegally and not paying taxes. Our nation cannot afford to host illegal immigrants when there are so many actual Americans who are unemployed and struggling to support their families. Every illegal immigrant means another American who is out of work. These undocumented workers are also not paying taxes, which only adds to the horrible government debt problem we have here in the United States. Overall, we need to take further steps to deport these countless illegal immigrants working here and heighten the security at our borders to prevent more instances of people sneaking in.
I see where you're coming from, Jack. Yes, of course it's wrong that there are so many illegal immigrants here in the United States, taking citizens' jobs. I think it's easy for everyone to agree that an illegal immigrant is, well, an illegal immigrant, and by definition they cannot be allowed to live here under the law. However, there's something to be said about the stimulus these illegal workers provide our nation's economy. According to James Smith, a senior economist at the Santa Monica-based R&D Corporation, immigrants contribute as much as $10 billion to the U.S. economy each year. This is an undeniably huge stimulus to our recently struggling domestic economy. Also, while the deportation of illegal immigrants who are detrimental to American society is indubitably productive, what benefit does deporting families with children who are wanting to attend school and to better themselves in society have? After all, throughout United States history, the nation has thrived alongside young immigrant families who are eager to improve their own quality of life and transitively positively affect the quality of the entire nation. Politicians like the president work to deport harmful undocumented immigrants, but also work to temporarily halt deportations of young undocumented immigrants who meet certain qualifications, such as attending high school,